It is finally fixed. Ionic Sentry is back, and it is better than I could have ever imagined. We all knew that it was bugged essentially since release with Electrostatic Mind not working correctly, but now that it's working, this Warlock build just went straight to God tier. Today, we're diving into what might be one of the most meta Arc Warlock builds in Destiny 2 right now. So if you're like me and you're ready to retire the Song of Flame and Lord of Wolves meta, you're going to absolutely love this pure Arc Warlock. Let's break it down. Starting off with our subclass, of course, we're going to be rocking Chaos Reach. This Kamehameha beam of just utter death that jolts and deletes everything in sight is utterly fantastic, especially when you pair it with Geomag stabilizers. Yes, we know it's a classic combo, but this extends the damage of our Chaos Reach when we just keep it on target, and by collecting Ionic Traces, which by the way now grant 7% super energy, it is gonna just have your super up non-stop. Plus, with Geomags, when you sprint near max bolt charge, you're going to gain bolt charge stacks over time, making it feel like you have infinite bolt charge and super uptime. Of course, let's break down the aspects here. With Ionic Sentry, getting kills with arc weapons, arc abilities, or even a kinetic weapon, you are going to charge up a mini arc turret that will chain everything and blind nearby targets. Plus, it grants you bolt charge with every single hit, and by blinding targets, it will also stun unstoppables. Then pairing it with Electrostatic Mind, kills with arc abilities, killing jolted enemies or even blinded enemies, you are going to generate Ionic Traces. Traces equals super, easy math. Now, for the fragments, this is where it gets fun. Spark of Amplitude will generate orbs of power on rapid final blows while you're amplified, Spark of Resistance to get extra damage resistance while we're surrounded, then there's Spark of Ion, so killing jolted targets will spawn Ionic Traces, then lastly is Spark of Discharge. Arc weapon kills also have a chance to generate more Ionic Traces. Of course, there is a little bit of overlap here, but that is the point. We are trying to create as many Ionic Traces as possible, feeding into our super as much as we can. But now let's talk about the weapons. This is where it gets a little bit spicy. First up, we are running double special, however, it is not necessary. Running with Tenacious Mastery, having Chill Clip is just an easy pick in my opinion because you have the ability to stun every champion, and Rocket Sidearms are utterly fantastic. If you don't want to do that, or if you haven't grinded Iron Banner, feel free to toss on Liminal Vigil. It is a stasis primary sidearm. With Piercing Sidearm, you can still stun barriers. It's a good pick. If you don't want to use double special, not a problem. Now, where our main bread and butter is going to be Cold Heart. This Arc Trace Rifle gets stronger the longer it's on target. It essentially has intrinsic target lock, but the real magic here is going to be its exotic perk, Longest Winter. While we're in our max damage state, it is going to create Ionic Traces. And again, remember, traces equal more Chaos Reach equals more fun. It is a beautiful, beautiful combination. There are some alternative picks here if you don't want to run Cold Heart, but if you do, you're going to enjoy it. Of course, you can also run Lodestar. It is another Arc Trace rifle that uses primary ammo, so you're not going to have to worry about ammo economy, and it still can feed into Ionic Traces. And then there's also Delicate Tune. This thing can fire from the hip, creating Ionic Traces on those final blows. It is, I would say, a little bit faster with super regen than Cold Heart is, but Cold Heart pairs extremely well with the artifact perks that we'll get into here shortly, so that's why we opted to go with that. For the heavy weapon, you can go with anything that you want. However, I'm going with Arc Synergy here, using Watchful Eye with Rolling Storm, because getting kills with Rolling Storm generate bolt charge, and while we're amplified, it just generates more bolt charge. Then there's Overflow, just to make it so you don't have to reload as much as possible, so feel free to hop in the Nether and grind out for this weapon. Now, the artifact mods, that is just going to put this build over the top. We've got Overload Trace Rifle and Piercing Sidearm for champion support. Then there is Beam Medic, so Rapid Trace Rifle final blows will heal us and nearby allies. And of course, we're all focused on Arc, so we're tossing on Dielectric, so defeating Arc debuff targets grant bolt charge. Then there's going to be Elemental Siphon, so rapid final blows with either a kinetic or a weapon matching our super will create an elemental pickup, which just further feeds into the build. Then we also have Flashover, so when we gain max bolt charge, we also become amplified, and our lightning bolts deal more damage. Pairing with Cold Heart yet again is going to be Harsh Refraction. Trace rifles do more damage to targets afflicted by elemental debuffs, matching their elemental type, so jolted and blinded targets will take more damage from Cold Heart. We've also got on limit break, so when we cast our super when we're critically wounded, or when we're amplified, our super has a period of increased damage, and pairing it lastly with defibrillating blast. When we stun a champion, it is going to grant us max bolt charge. It will also trigger an arc bolt that heals us and jolts combatants that it damages. Last up is, of course, our armor mods. We're using a harmonic siphon to create orbs of power on rapid arc final blows, a stasis siphon to create orbs on rapid stasis final blows, then special ammo finder to increase the drop rate of our special ammo. We're going to be running firepower on the gauntlets to generate orbs on grenade final blows, fastball to increase our grenade throw distance, then our harmonic loader to increase the reload speed of all of our arc weapons. And then of course the chest piece, we're always going to be running damage resistance mods that match the activity that we're doing. Now for the geomags. We've got on better already to immediately begin health regen every time we pick up an orb of power, a harmonic scavenger to get bonus reserves when we pick up an ammo brick for both of our arc weapons, then absolution so it reduces all ability cooldowns every time we pick up an orb of power. And lastly, for our Warlock bond, we're going to be using Reaper to generate an orb of power when we get a weapon final blow following our class ability. Then of course, Powerful Attraction, which will automatically collect any orb of power when we use our class ability that was within 12 meters. Then Special Ammo Finisher to generate special ammo for us and the whole fire team when we're at max armor charge of 3 stacks. So there you have it, Guardians. Ionic Sentry is finally fixed, and this Arc Warlock build is just absolutely insane. We know it's not new, but since the bug's finally been fixed and that we've paired it with some of the artifact mods revolving around trace rifles, it feels fresh and fun to use again. You're going to be chaining supers, deleting champions, and becoming unstoppable. If you enjoyed this build breakdown, feel free to leave a like and hit subscribe if you are new. Of course, there will be a dim link and a Mobalytics link in the description below. And let me know in the comments, are you going to tweak this build to fit your playstyle? Maybe try on a different exotic or change up the weapons? Or have you used Ionic Sentry since the bug's been fixed? But as always, thank you all so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one.